How's it, guys? And I realized I have not done an HRT video in so long. It's been a long time because I'm just feeling good. So there's been no need to talk about what I'm on. But I thought it's 2024. I don't think I've done one in 2024. So for those of you who are new here, the ladies over 40 who are in perimenopause, please know that you are not alone. Your struggles are real. And I personally have found what's working for me. So I'm just showing you the products here. I am taking Progesterone. It is a bioidentical progesterone. It is pharmaceutical. I have so many videos on the topic you can go back and watch. I will link to that playlist in the description box below. If you don't know where that is, there's the writing, the description, and where it says more, you can click on those dots and it'll drop down. And the Femigel is the bioidentical estrogen, also pharmaceutical. And I rub 2 pumps of this every day. So if you open up, it's a pump bottle and you pump out. It's about, how would I describe it? It's about a thumb's worth of gel, and then you rub it on clean, dry skin. So I do 2 pumps in the morning. I take the Progesterone, which is the progesterone, at night. I'm only on 100 milligrams, so I take 1 capsule every night. But I actually think or suspect, now I'm not a doctor, so just bear with me. I suspect I need 200 milligrams. I'll show you what the tablets look like, little gel capsules, because I still get breakthrough bleeding, or a period just sort of comes kind of whenever it wants to. And in theory, if your progesterone dose is enough to match your estrogen, you should not have a period. This is what I learned from Menopause Taylor. She's a YouTuber as well, so she's here on YouTube. She says that like progesterone is like the lawnmower that mows your uterine lining, and the estrogen is like the fertilizer that grows the uterine lining. So in theory, what you want is to balance the two, so your uterine lining just stays stable and thin and never grows excessively. And the reason is because if it keeps growing, it could potentially lead to uterine cancer. And so unopposed estrogen is actually a known cause of uterine cancer. But that doesn't mean that every lady who is just taking estrogen will get uterine cancer. It's just one of the risk factors. Obviously, there's many factors to all cancers, but they do know for a fact that unopposed estrogen is not good. So if you have your uterus and you are on HRT, you do need progesterone with your estrogen. So that's why I take those two. So I think that my estrogen is still growing lining, and when it gets too thick, it then wants to shed. That's what a period is. It's the shedding of your uterine lining. So in case you didn't know that, now you do. You guys, I have learned so much just from doctors here on YouTube. And so, actually, this is a good video to put. I think I'm going to put you out on the screen or type a list and pop it up here of YouTube doctor channels and resources that I found very helpful when I was researching and learning as much as I could about perimenopause and menopause and all the hormones that one can take. So, like, there's so many good ones. Menopause Taylor, is it Mary Louise Claire Haver? I can't, it's such a long name. Mary Claire Haver. And also there are many books that are worthwhile reading. I've mentioned quite a few times the Menopause Manifesto. That's a good one because that doctor is very sort of factual, Dr. Jen Gunter. So she doesn't, talk about things that are not very much like condoned by the Menopause Society and, the rules and the guidelines. So it's good to know. I think sometimes she's almost too much within the bounds and the rules. But what I like about her is that even she says, if you are wanting to know about HRT and you're not sure, is it for you? Is it going to work for you? Is it the right thing for you? Even she says in her book, you can try it and it's not set in stone. If you don't like it for whatever reason, just stop. And okay, the other thing I'm on before I get more into some details, I'm also on a testo gel, so it's half a pump that I use because a full pump for me just spikes my levels too high, and I do not want to be a man. Sure, as I'm sitting here recording, it is it's March already, March in South Africa. I live on the East Coast. February is one of the hottest months, but for us, it's actually been a little bit delayed. It's turning out that March is very hot, so it's quite hot. I'm in the upstairs, and you know how heat rises. So I've just had something to drink, some cool drink. Okay, so I am on a compounded testosterone because there is no pharmaceutical equivalent for females. So this one is for females. So this dose would not be for a man. And my partner now, he is on TRT, testosterone replacement therapy. So he is on androgel. So that's sachets. Now, one of his sachets, in theory, like my gynae said to me, I could use one, but it would be, I would need to like scoop out a tenth of the sachet. So there would be a pharmaceutical grade testosterone gel, but you know what he said, if I can test, which I do, test my levels, and I'm getting testosterone readings from the compounded stuff, he said it's fine, just stay on that. So I do. So that's what I'm on, and I am very happy with my HRT. So I just wanted to reiterate, come on, share that information again, because I really do honestly feel like information is power. And the whole point of my channel is to help all of you guys by sharing what is working for me. I'm not saying it is for you. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying for me, who is definitely in perimenopause, I'm 45. I'll be turning 46 in October of 2024. And definitely last year for me was the worst in terms of perimenopausal symptoms. I've got a whole lot of videos that I made. I mean, I was experiencing nausea even, night sweats, depression, just a general feeling of ugh, like just I felt ugh. And so I can't even remember now because I've been on this. This is my 5th month, so it's a new bottle here. This will be the 5th, I think, month. And I've just stopped complaining. And that's how I know it's working. Before I went into all of this, I was doing some trial and error by trying different birth control pills because I had, and you would see there's a video on my channel here, my consult with Menopause Taylor. She's a retired OBGYN. She has a YouTube channel. She does online consults. Very expensive though, especially for us in South Africa. So looking back, probably not quite worth the expense. Having said that, I did learn a lot from her. And anyway, her advice was to just go onto a birth control pill because where would I find a gynae or a doctor willing to prescribe me dosages of estrogen high enough because I'm young? Now, I will say, possibly she was mistaken because I'm on 2 pumps of this, and that is the kind of like recommended, that is the recommended amount. 1 pump here delivers 1.25 grams of gel, and then it says each 2.5 grams of gel contains 1.5 milligrams of estrogen or estradiol. And so it's basically saying that the standard dose is 2 pumps. I'm on 2 pumps. When I went higher, I tried 3 pumps and 4 pumps. I went and tested my estradiol levels. They were high, like very high. And I just felt like it's not necessary to have levels that are higher than what I would make myself. So I'm not sure where Menopause Taylor gets this idea that you need these high doses in your 40s. I'm not sure. Maybe being on the birth control pill, you need higher doses. I don't quite understand that. But anyway, I did find a gynecologist who was willing to prescribe me HRT for perimenopause, not just menopause. The problem is a lot of doctors want to wait until you actually are in menopause to prescribe you HRT. So I think that's where she was going with that, is that birth control tablets, well, they contain the same stuff. They contain estrogen and progesterone. Unfortunately, it's synthetic forms, especially the progestins that are in birth control tablets. So they're progesterone-like, but they are actually called progestins because they are not bioidentical. They don't mimic the molecule that we make. Whereas the estrogen that I'm on, it's bioidentical, meaning the hormone in the estrogen, the shape of it, like, think of it like a key and a lock. The shape looks just like the original key for that original lock. Now we've gone and cut a key in the lab, so to speak, and that lab-made key, so let's say this is a lab-made hormonal key, this can unlock the receptors exactly the same way as my own hormones would. That's how I think of bioidentical hormones. Look, it's just an analogy, but I'm sharing that hopefully it helps you. And so progestins are not bioidentical, but they do fantastic jobs in the body. So what I've also learned is that the synthetic progestins do a much better job of keeping your uterine lining thin. So that could also be why I'm struggling and still having periods. In theory, I don't want a period. I've spoken about this before on my channel. The reason is I just don't see the point. If I can, with progesterones, keep the lining thin and never need a period, why would I want a period? There is no actual physical advantage to having a period, for me at least, anymore, because I'm on the estradiol gel. So I am replacing the estrogen that I'm slowly losing. And I just would rather just tweak things and not have a period. But that's just my personal preference and choice. If you are in perimenopause and you are still cycling, so having periods, but you are feeling the perimenopausal symptoms, you can do a cyclical HRT. You can just use the birth control as HRT. I mean, HRT tablets pretty much contain what birth control tablets contain. And so this is what freaks me out about doctors being so anti-HRT, but they will prescribe like sweets and candy birth control tablets for younger women. It's the same goddamn stuff. It's the same stuff. So if HRT is dangerous, why are birth control pills not dangerous? You see, the logic doesn't make sense. And so that's where I wonder, why the big fear about estrogen and breast cancer? If estrogen was a breast cancer agent, creating it, whatever the word is, creating agent, wouldn't all the women on birth control tablets all be having higher incidence of breast cancer? Because in birth control tablets, the amount of ethinyl estradiol is like so much higher than what is in HRT, you see. So anyway, that's just my 5 cents. Again, I just say I'm not a doctor. I'm just throwing it out there for food for thought. So if you do want HRT and you can't get it for whatever reason, you can use a birth control. There is a patch, and then of course there are tablets. The advantage to the patch is that it's going through your skin. So if you have any risks of blood clots, the tablet form of estrogen does increase the blood clot risk ever so slightly. So you may want to stay away from that. I prefer using the gel because it is bioidentical, whereas the birth control tablet is not. And I just found some of the birth control tablets I didn't have good reactions to. I think it's the progestins, the synthetic progestins in them that were just not gelling with my body, because I'm fine on all of this. I was fine on Nordette. Now, Nordette contains a older style progestin, which I had no problem with, but I just wanted rather to, I don't know why, I just wanted to be on bioidentical. Don't know why. Maybe it's just an idea in my head, but I'm on it. I'm happy. My mood is good. I'm coping well. I'm sleeping fine. I never really struggled with sleep though, to be honest. No more so in perimenopause than my normal. Like usually I just kind of have ups and downs with my sleep, where sometimes I struggle, sometimes I don't. It's just, I think, old age, life, stress, worry, the usual kind of story with sleep. So there you go. That is my HRT regime. It's what's really, it is working for me. And so if you are wondering for yourself, let's say you in perimenopause or menopause, and you're not sure now what to try, where to start, like you're just overwhelmed with, there's so many options, there's so much noise on the internet about HRT. I would like to simplify it for you. So what I want to say is that it's really not that complicated. It's not that big of a deal. I found when you search for information, it sounds very complicated. It's really not. There's 3 sex hormones. The 2 main ones you need to think about are estrogen and progesterone. Testosterone is only if you, as a unique individual, have low testosterone. Me, as a woman, I don't know why, but for many years, my testosterone has been low. And I know that my testosterone is low because I've had it tested since about 2016. And it just tested low. And I just thought at the time, well, I mean, I was weight training and doing all the gym and the running. And I just thought maybe it was a one-off day that it was low. I don't know. I didn't really worry about it. But I know because I've got tests going back to then. And then even recently when I've tested on my own, my testosterone is just low. So I supplement with testosterone. But most women don't need to worry about that yet. After sort of 52, your own levels do decline. The only way to know if you should replace your testosterone is to test. That's it. Very simple. With estrogen and progesterone, again, you could test or you could not, because again, those 2 hormones do fluctuate with your cycle. So depending on which day of the month, whether you're in perimenopause or menopause, your own natural levels will be different on a different day during your cycle. I would say if you are feeling symptomatic, not feeling, if you are symptomatic, meaning you've got all the signs and symptoms of perimenopause or menopause, and they're the same, it's just a scale. As your estrogen declines and your progesterone, those symptoms will start to happen. Pretty much from 40 onwards, you've got to be like ready, ready and waiting for the symptoms. Some women don't really experience them. I'm not sure why. Luckily for them, they don't. I did. So just educate yourself on the common symptoms of perimenopause. I'll put on the screen here some kind of infographic. I've got so many of them saved because I did so much research. So if you're feeling symptomatic and you're over 40, basically, like I say, if it talks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's a duck. If you're having perimenopausal symptoms and you're over 40, 45 or more, you're probably in perimenopause. I mean, that is the age it happens. So unless there's another underlying medical issue that could cause similar kind of symptoms, for example, low thyroid or whatever. So in that case, maybe you want to test. But anyway, back to perimenopause and menopause. For HRT, you really just need to worry about estrogen and progesterone. If you don't have a uterus, don't worry about progesterone right now. Just get your estrogen levels top back up. Your estrogen is the hormone that creates, or the decline of your estrogen is the hormone that creates most of those symptoms. And so once you boost your estrogen back to like a nice baseline, your symptoms will go away. In theory, and in reality, most women find that they get relief. No more night sweats, no more hot flashes, no more whatever it is, itchy, dry skin, no more depression, mood swings, grumpiness, weepiness, no more aches and pains, joint aches and pains, no more feeling blah, no more just like no energy. All of that resolves, but it does take time. I mean, I really felt like it took me about 2 to 3 months for everything to sort of kick in. And now I just, and there's no, for me on these bioidentical hormones, there's no, you don't feel it like, it's not like a drug. You don't feel an effect. You just start to feel like yourself. It's so subtle. It's in the background. But like suddenly, a week or 2 in, and you just start to think, geez, I haven't complained. Wow, I didn't sweat. Cool, I'm feeling bouncy, happy. You might just start singing. You might be more pleasant. You might be smiling more. Whatever the case may be, it is not a feeling, but it's a background feeling of well-being. I hope I explained that well enough. So don't be afraid of hormones. You're not going to just like, oh, I feel the hormones. Oh, it's not like that. For the most part, you will use it and feel nothing, but your symptoms will resolve, and therefore you will feel better. So my mom is using a little bit of the compounded stuff, and she says she feels nothing. She can't feel a difference, but I notice a difference in her. She's a little bit more sprightly, a little bit more talkative, a little bit more animated. And that's really it. So it's almost like on a cellular level, she's got a little bit more vuma. And so you won't actually feel it, but you might notice it. Maybe that's a good way of describing it. So don't be afraid to try HRT. And like I say, there are different forms. I don't know, here in South Africa, I don't think we've got a vaginal ring, but I know overseas you can have a vaginal ring that has estrogen and progesterone that travels throughout your whole body. There's tablet form, there's the patch, there's the gels. So you really do, obviously, you need to work with a doctor and discuss your options. But really the main, I wouldn't say confusion, but the main options are the delivery method of how you're going to get those hormones into your body. So don't get confused. There's two hormones, estrogen and progesterone. Estrogen is the one that you want to replace to stop all the yucky symptoms. Progesterone is there to keep your uterine lining thin. It also helps with sleep. It can relax you, make you feel nice and calm and sleepy. So that's what that does. But don't overcomplicate it. And then you just got to decide, do I want to take it in tablet form? Do I want to rub gels on my skin? Pellets also exist here in South Africa, not really. Do you want to wear a patch? I mean, if you exercise a lot, a patch might not be for you. Do you want to investigate vaginal rings? Apparently also these can go in vaginally, but I don't know if it can travel through your whole body if you do that. Probably it can, I don't know. So there are many delivery methods and options. You just need to discuss it. So I just wanted to share that with you. Knowledge is power, and I hope it helps you in some small way. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye. Oh, by the way, don't you love the nails? These are the Kiss glue-on nails. My last set popped off, but I think maybe the glue was old. So I did these today. And yeah, I'm really enjoying them. Anyway, see you guys in the next video. Bye.